Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius cross-watchers, and welcome to your singles or ooh straight out of the gate. Sorry if you had headphones on, I apologize. So this is your singles or new love reading for the month of July 2023. Okay. Sorry, just a second here. So as always, please take this as it resonates and always use your intuition when making decisions about your life, because this is a general reading. And cross-watchers, you're welcome to flip the roles if that resonates better with you. So I do want to say private readings are open again. So if you'd like to book a private reading with me, awesome. Excellent. Sorry. My email is below in the description box. Okay, this is awesome, Sag. I'm actually super happy for you. So, we just are going to, you know what, we'll do that after. We'll go over this. So, of course, we'll have your general reading here, and then it will be the next love interest for Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, and that will be time-stamped in the description box below. So, Sag, where you are right now is the Ace of Cups. So I feel that you are, it does feel to a certain extent that love is out of your reach. It's almost like I'm kind of seeing the water falling down here as bars, and you're kind of in a, almost like in a prison where you can't quite get to where you want to go. I do want to say, Sag, this may be specific. So it might not resonate with everybody, but I feel like if you're feeling that love is out of reach, I almost want to say, like, is it out of your reach, or are you maybe just not reaching for it right now? It's almost like you're kind of looking at it longingly, but I feel like I feel to a certain extent, okay, don't be mad, that you are closing yourself off. That it's like, it almost feels like you're kind of longing for something here, but you're not really open to or seeing any opportunities that are around you. If ever you've seen Seinfeld, where Jerry had a tendency to, it's like he would oust potential partners for like ridiculous reasons. You know, for one, it's like the woman had man hands or something like that. So that made, I know I'm trivializing it, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to downplay something that's obviously quite painful for you. But I do feel to a certain extent that it's almost like it feels out of reach, because I feel like let me ask you this. Sag, is it possible that you're putting such restrictions on a potential partner to protect yourself so that nobody could possibly get through? You know what I mean? It's like you've set the bar. You gotta have high standards, right? We all know that. But it's like you've set the bar so high, you know, an Olympic pole vaulter couldn't get up and over that thing. And I feel like to a certain extent, it's like you're doing that to protect yourself, but it is causing you some loneliness here. So what's holding you back, and a past wound to embrace to let that go. Here's where we get into it. Sag, I feel like, oh, I want to cry. I feel like somebody brought the tower down on you hard. It was a very hard experience. It wasn't challenging. It wasn't this. No, I feel like somebody, it almost feels like you are maybe a little bit angry with yourself or disappointed in yourself for having believed in somebody so wholeheartedly. And that's not to say that you did anything wrong. It just feels like you seem to feel that you should have known at that time what you know now. And I'm going to ask you a question here. Is it reasonable for you to expect yourself to know something that you weren't taught. And it's that energy of like you didn't know what you didn't know, right? So it's like, you know now that that person would do that. You know now that that situation would happen that way. But at the time, you know, is it reasonable to fault yourself now for not being able to see how something would turn out? And I feel, Sag, if you're honest with yourself, I feel like you know that there were some twists and turns that you couldn't have expected if you were in a Lord of the Rings trilogy and all sorts of weird stuff was going on, trees were talking and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, and I feel that you know what those situations are for your specific situation. Excuse me. Excuse me. But I feel like there are times when you're getting really down on yourself. There's times that you are beating yourself up for not knowing those things. And I feel like you might be in a little bit of a habit of kind of being, I'm going to swear, kind of being shitty to yourself. And I feel like you seem to be doing that almost to kind of like hold yourself down, push yourself back. I feel like you seem to feel that you, I hope that this is not how any of you are thinking or feeling about yourself. But if you are, it's almost like you feel that you should be held there. You should be held back. You didn't know. You didn't learn your lesson. You should have seen it sooner. You should have. And you are shitting all over yourself. And I feel like there's a message here that it's almost like you may have been cut so deeply by this situation in the past that you have lost the ability to have hope in new relationships. So it's like somebody comes along and it's like the first sign of like, oh, they got man hands, I'm out. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, there's nothing wrong with man hands. It's just to illustrate the energy, right? I feel like you see your past self, the one that had hope in new relationships, as naive. But I feel to a certain extent you long to be back in that energy. You long to be back where you feel like you can have hope in love again. So I feel that for you to let this, feeling like the tower is going to come down, or it's like, or there's a tower around the corner and you got to brace yourself. You got to have an exit strategy or a plan. I feel like the way out of that is to, and this might sound like a 4-letter word, but it's not, forgive yourself. And I feel like for those of you that this is resonating for, it's almost like, I think you know that already. And I feel like for some reason you're resisting doing that. I feel like because you don't want to let something go here. It's almost like you feel that you've lost a part of your innocence. Hold on. You know what it feels like? It makes me want to cry. It feels like you're in an energy where you're scared to try new things, which is, out of the stereotype of what's expected from a Sag. So, Sag, I feel like if that's resonating with you, maybe instead of beating yourself up for feeling that way or for having made a certain type of choice, maybe it's important to look at, or I'm going to invite you to consider how deep, how bad must this hurt have been to have robbed you of your faith in new beginnings. Sorry, I'm a little emotional here. Because it was bad. And like, no, you weren't crazy. It was bad. And I feel like there are some things where it's like you're trying to not give this person the benefit of the doubt, but you're trying to see it from a better perspective. You're trying to like find the, it's like you're trying to find the lesson. You're trying to make something out of it. And I feel like there's actually a message here that it might be a bit easier to let this hurt go if you allow yourself to accept that maybe this person, I'm going to swear, is just being a shitty human being right now. I feel like this person may have gone to some depths that you didn't expect. And like, I feel like you understand, you know, the darker side of people or the shadow side, that people can get in and get dirty. You know what I mean? And I feel like even you didn't see some of the things coming. It's like you never would have thought in your wildest dreams that this person could pull this, that they could do this to you, that they could do this to another human. And I feel like in that knowing, that's an opportunity to give yourself a little bit of grace. It's like how Olenna Tyrell says to Jaime, spoiler alert for Game of Thrones, it didn't happen because you weren't vigilant, because you're not intelligent, because you don't understand people. It happened because you lack the imagination to think of something that atrocious. And that's not that you lack imagination. I want to make that really clear. It's more that you're not the kind of person that has the capability to think that negatively about other people. That's where you lack imagination. So what is amazing, and I would like, if it wouldn't rock the table, I'd jump for joy for you here. What's coming up for you? The Star. What do you have to look forward to? 10 of Pentacles. Listen, if I had a band that I could parade across a football field right now, I would. Because it's like the trumpets are blaring. I want to say like the cavalry's coming. Sorry. Sag, I feel like you're on your way, or you're about to find the strength to be vulnerable again. And I feel to a certain extent, I mean, the reality that being with that person for however long you were with them, I feel like you still may feel like you wasted time with them. It's like you wasted some good, it's almost that energy of like you've wasted good years on them. It's that kind of thing. But it doesn't hit you the same. It doesn't hurt you the same. It doesn't take you down. It doesn't make you not do things. It doesn't make you close yourself off from people. It's not like, you're wearing it with pride, but you're not ashamed of or afraid of it anymore. It's like if somebody tried to, not that they will, but if somebody tried to be crappy to you about it, I feel like you would respond in such a way that it's like, because they'd understand you, it's like everybody, it's almost like somebody would say something crappy about whatever, and I feel like you would respond not just with kindness, but with in a way that illustrates, not that you elicit empathy, but I feel like because people really are able to understand where you're coming from, there seems to be a lot more compassion. You know what it feels like? I feel to a certain extent that sometimes people may feel that you're not human. Okay? And let me flesh that out a little bit, in the way that, how do I say this? That you seem impervious to sorrow. You know what I mean? It's like, and I know Saggies are have a tendency to do this, that because you don't want to bring people down, because you want to be happy, which of course we all do, but it's like you may not really tell people when you're down. You may not really tell people when something takes you down. And maybe that's because it could be also that the reason that you don't talk to people about it is that when you're going through a really tough time, you go into a cave and you solve your problem and then you come back out. It's like you solve things on your own, sort of thing. Either way, there just is a message here, Sag, that whatever you've been going through, whatever you have felt like is tearing your heart into small pieces, there is a healing coming in for it. There's for you. And I feel like you may still feel like a snake that's just shed its skin, right? You're still going to feel a little bit vulnerable. You may feel a little bit exposed. But because you don't take other people's perceptions of you personally, and you don't kind of take it to heart, right? It's like you don't need other people to be okay with what happened because it's not their experience, right? And I feel that that seems to, it's like if people saw you as someone that was like perpetually happy and everything's fine and da-da-da-da-da, it's like they're going to see you as a human that I want to say like also has feelings. And of course they knew that you did, but it's, you know, if you were in an energy where you never really let anybody see when you were down, I feel like people start to really see you for all that you are, rather than it's like this little, you know, when you're looking through the keyhole, rather than looking through that keyhole and just seeing what you want them to see, what you were presenting. What's coming up for you? 10 of Pentacles. Like, oh. So it's, I want to say, Sag, it's like, it's all great things. I feel like there's new beginnings. I feel like even with people that you, from your past that are still in your life, I feel like you have new beginnings with them, because it's like all of a sudden people realize that actually Sag also needs some compassion when they're going through a rough time. You know what I mean? It's like the energy of you're somebody that really cares about and supports the people around you. But when you're going through a tough time, I feel like this might be specific. You may not get that same support, but I feel to a certain extent that's because you go through it alone. So some healing is on the way, abundance is on the way, and it's always interesting to notice things after I've had the cards for a while. I'm just like, I knew the dogs were there, but I didn't notice there was two. Sag, I feel like there is, this might be specific, okay? I feel like there's an animal in your life that you're going to be making a special connection with. I feel it may be like a parent's animal. Like, it doesn't feel necessarily like it's your animal or your, you know, your dog, your cat. I'm hearing your budgie, but anyway, it doesn't feel like it's yours, but you do have a certain connection with it. And I feel like every time you see this animal, you seem to feel a bit restored. You seem to feel like you almost kind of let something go without having to struggle with it, without having to, you know, go through your process. It's like, it's almost like you do work to kind of work through things and shake loose some trauma and some difficult experiences. And then you're around this animal, and whatever you've kind of shaked loose, I don't know if that's how you would say that, it seems to just kind of disintegrate or just kind of fade away with the presence of that animal. So that's it for that. I think we're going to start with the new love. So yeah, I wanted to use this deck. I'm just going to mark on my computer here the time. Okay. Actually, I have to do it loud, so I think I'm going to do it on my, just on my leg here, so that it doesn't, you know, get crazy loud. I apologize, Sag. Next time I'll... Okay. So, Sagittarius Sun. Next person for Sagittarius Sun. Next person for Sagittarius Sun. Sagittarius Sun. King of Cups reversed. So, okay, so here's, like, why does it have to be reversed? Because I feel like this is somebody that is kind of cocky, a bit arrogant. It's like they're going to kind of size you up. You know what I mean? It's like instead of coming in and being like, hi, how are you? I feel like they're going to kind of sit back and look you over like you're a piece of meat kind of thing. You know what I mean? I feel like this is somebody that is looking for their next I don't want to say that. I feel like it's somebody that's looking for their next prey. And for that, I'm sorry. The King of Cups upright is someone that is emotionally mature. So please don't get too hung up on the gender. It's not about gender. It's about gender, of course, we know is important. But the cards aren't about gender. It's about the energy of the card. So usually the King of Cups is someone that's very emotionally mature. It's, still waters run deep sort of thing. And I feel like this person is shallow. You know? It's like, you know what it's like? It's the difference of somebody whose bark is worse than their bite. That's this one. I kind of want to get a, get one more card for Saggie. I'm just going to make sure the deck is upright. I want one more card for Sagittarius. Also not the best card. I know I just caught an attitude, and I apologize, but, okay. If you already know this person, I feel like it's almost like this person seems to want to skip happily or skip back happily into your life to bring some toxicity and leave destruction in their wake. And I feel if you've already known this person, I definitely think that they made you feel like you weren't good enough. I feel like they made you feel that that whatever you had to offer, it's like it was something that you couldn't fix. And they seem to almost want to like pigeonhole you. Really and truly, if I'm just gonna bite the bullet here, I feel like this person is an ASSHOLE. It just is. Or like, I don't know what else to tell you with this combination, man. I do feel, Sag, that keep your eyes and ears open. I feel like this person might be a little bit, it's like they might be coming back. If it's someone that's coming back, they're coming back stealthier, a little bit wiser, a little bit more clever. And I feel like if you are not vigilant, this person may find a way in. However, obviously that won't be for everybody. But if they do, I don't think that you, I'm hearing some of you being like, no, they're not coming back. And like, even if they do, it's no. So of course that may be a no. If it's not, or I feel like initially it'll be a no, but there are some of them that it's like they might come in and act like they've changed and they'll cry and they'll do this and they'll do that and act like they're such a different person, but they're not. It's just a plan. They just want to know if they can still have you. Which, like, rude. So I'm just marking down that time. So, Sagittarius Moon. Sagittarius Moon. We have the Fool card. Did kind of come out on its side, so we'll read it both ways. It feels like there's a little bit of a stall for you, actually. I feel like how the cards were talking about the healing that kind of needs to be done here. I feel like there is a possibility that you being down on yourself, that you're going to get kind of yanked into that energy a little bit more. And, you know, I know that that's not a very nice thing to hear. Um, but I just kind of feel like that's actually, this is what it feels like. I don't want to say this. It's possible that there is an opportunity that comes across that you may not see that opportunity for what it is because you're stuck in this energy. Can we get a clarifier on that one, please? The moon. So no clarification? Cool. Oh, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay. So the moon talks about like illusions. This might be really specific. I feel like there's someone that is going to invite you out last minute, or it's like last minute you'll decide to go. It could be to like a psychic or something. But anyway, it's like you kind of make this last minute decision to hop out of bed and go. Or maybe you're late to go somewhere, but whatever it is, Sag, I feel like there seems to be some excitement around going to that thing. And I feel like there does seem to be a bit of an energy here. Hold on. That you may feel like the fifth wheel, or you may feel like you're, you know, just kind of there while everybody else is, you know, doing their thing. It may make you feel like, oh, well, why did I even bother coming? We do have the Knight of Cups here, so I was going to say, why should Sag bother going? So we have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, and then we have the Seven of Cups reversed. So I feel like, oh, the Empress underneath that, lots of three. Okay. I'm getting distracted. I feel that with this, that you actually seem to be freed from something here at that event. It's almost like something kind of snaps or something. It's like a switch is flipped and you seem to be, and it's like all of a sudden being single isn't that bad. And not that it was that bad, okay. But it just feels like all of a sudden it doesn't bother you anymore. It's like you're happy in that energy. And I feel like you realize that it could be worse. It's that energy of you looking at a certain, it's like maybe you'll see some chaos in some couples. Not that, of course, that, you know, we would wish that on anybody, of course. But I feel like you're just going to see some dysfunction. It's like you're going to see people getting treated in a way that you would not be okay with being treated. And I feel like you step into that energy of, you know, maybe you already knew that there are worse things than being alone, but now it's like it's in your bones. So I don't really know. That wasn't really the next person. Can we get a card for the next person, please? Ugh. Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune obviously talks about things kind of going in your favor. And I feel like there actually may be quite a few people coming your way. I don't really feel like you're interested in any of them. It's like they just kind of, maybe like you'll go out on one date or something, but there's no spark. There's no like, oh. And I feel like because you're, you know, a relationship isn't something that you're longing for because you've done the healing here. I actually feel that you're just not really interested in them. It's almost like you kind of moved into an energy where you want to enjoy your single. You know what? It's that energy of for example, maybe at this thing that you go to, you might see a couple of people or like a couple arguing. And I feel like you're looking at it thinking to yourself like, oh God, thank you that that's not me. Thank you that I'm not involved in anything like that. It's that kind of a thing. And I feel like the next person that comes along is going to have to be pretty effing amazing for you to give up the freedom that you have, for you to give up and put that kind of energy into another human. So, Sag Rising. Five of Cups. Okay. Hold on for a second. I'm just gonna. It feels like you might feel a slow progression of somebody from the past coming towards you. I feel like you might feel it on, almost like on an energetic level. I feel like this is somebody that chose someone else over you. It's like they kind of discarded you like an old hat sort of thing. Very dismissive, very disrespectful. And I feel like here, this person, it's almost like you may have had a glow up, or it could be that when you move into this energy where you're not defensive and you're ready, willing, and able to be open and vulnerable. I feel like this person is like, oh, Sag is ready. I'm gonna go in now. You know what I mean? It's like, well, all the hard lifting is done. You know what it's like? It's like, for example, you've made the whole dinner, or you've set the table for Thanksgiving dinner, and this person comes in and is like, oh, hey, you need any help? Like, no. Sag already set the table. You know what I mean? And it's like they waited until they didn't hear any more commotion, like plates moving around and stuff. Like they waited until it was silent so that they could come in and act like they're there for you, but not actually be there for you when they knew that that's what you needed. And I feel like this person, they might come in on bended knee. They might come in with all of this romance and stuff. And it's like you might be open to maybe talking to them, or not talking to them to lead to something. But I feel like if that's the case and you're open to talk to them or whatever, they will make their romantic pursuit of you known. And it's almost like you'll hang up the phone on them. You know what I mean? Or you'll be like, no, if that's what you're in for, I'm out. Because I don't feel like this person has even kind of sort of a chance with you. I don't feel like you're going to be mean or rude or, tell this person off or anything. It's just not, you're just not dealing with that type of BS anymore. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We get card for, I forgot to do it for Sag Rising. I'll have to look. Okay, so Taurus, those who have their Venus in Sag. Okay. Okay, so Sag, there is a lot of physical chemistry here. And I feel like hold on for a second. Let me just sit with the card for a minute. So, number one, Sag, not that you have let people control you in the past, but I feel like if anybody tries to come in and it's like they might try to act like they have power over you, or it's like, for example, if you're all out for dinner and drinks or something, it's like they're going to try to order your drink for you. It's the kind of energy of somebody that like, maybe you like strawberry daiquiri, right? And this person wants to order you a whiskey or a vodka soda or something. And they have the audacity. I'm indignant for you right now, so I'm sorry that I'm kind of pausing, trying not to put too much stank on it. And it's like this person will be like, you'll be like, oh, I'll have a strawberry daiquiri. And your person's like, no, no, no. Sag will have whiskey on the rocks or a vodka soda or whatever. And you're like, no, I think I'll have a strawberry daiquiri. And the person's like, no, no, no. I know what you'll like. Those aren't good. You'll like this better. Trust me. And it's like they just kind of want to form you or mold you into this or that. You know what I mean? And I don't think you're going to like it. I mean, nobody would like that, right? But I feel like you may not have quite expected that from that person. I mean, obviously, if you expected it, you wouldn't have gone out with them, right? But it's like there seems to be little things like that that kind of tip you off to what's going on with them, that it's like maybe they do have emotion for you, but I feel like this is somebody, it's like they seem to be doing those sorts of things genuinely because they think they're protecting you. They think they're doing right by you. But it's almost like they treat you like a child rather than a partner. And I feel like that seems to make you feel small. I mean, of course that would make anyone feel small, right? One more card for Saggie over here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's the Queen of Swords. Excuse me. So, you know, if this person wanted to turn you, I don't think they could do anything that would turn you off any faster than this nonsense that they're pulling. I feel with the Eight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, whatever they think they're going to get, it's like they think that when they do that, that you're going to be grateful to them for looking out for you. And I feel like they might actually be shocked that that's how you feel, that you feel like, no, that's actually, it's almost like they're trying to take your right to order your own stinking drink. And I feel like they seem to want to make it up to you. And I feel like the harder they try, the more you want to get away. The more it's like, I feel that you may see that they're trying not to do that, or that they're trying to kind of get you to embrace, or not embrace them, but it's like they're trying to win you back over. But I feel like if they do that a lot. They do it again. And I feel like that actually seems to make you shut them down pretty quickly. Not that you're taking it personally, not that you're getting all angry and making a scene or anything like that. I feel like actually you just start to see it, that like that's how this person functions. And you don't need a care. Oh, sorry. You don't need a caretaker. You want a partner that's going to build you up, not somebody that's going to try to tell you what's good for you and what's not. And I feel like even if you have a lot of emotion for this person, I do feel that if you, this may not apply for everybody, and I feel like I'm putting pressure on it, so I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna anyway. It's possible that if you stay with somebody that's like that, I'm not saying you will, but if you do, that you are gonna have hell of resentment for them as time moves forward. And I feel like it's almost like if you get out before you get really resentful towards this person, it's like you may be able to look back at the connection with a bit of fondness. Not that you want to go back, but like that you understand their motives, you're not taking it personal, sort of thing. But I feel like if you stick around, it's going to be, you know, any perception of that relationship or that person will be forever soured. That's not to say that you should stay in a relationship because, you know, because you want to look back at it nicely, but I definitely feel that it's like it can either end early with some understanding, or it can end later with you, you know, reading this person the riot act. So, oh, sorry, guys, this is just how I put the cards back so that they, it's almost like easier to shuffle them. Anyway, that's what I have for you today, Sag. If this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful. I hope that it brought you some clarity. And I think that's about it. I think that I did the spiel at the beginning. So I love you so much, Sag. Have a great month, and we'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.